And that deeper layer is this. This is Billy Porter on Sesame Street with Elmo now. Alright, now he got on Sesame Street with Elmo now, and media outlets loved it. They said, oh, he's so fearless. He's fearless, Sasha fearless. He's Beyonce. No, they said, this is amazing. This is a push for LGBT rights among the children. And folks, the deeper layer of this is that, we not only need to protect our black men because black men are being pushed into this heavily. They're heavily pushing this on black men. But we're also going to see this being pushed onto black children. And an indication of that is what we saw on Sesame Street when Billy Porter was on there with Elmo being fierce or promoting that moldy bread syndrome, promoting a moral decay of our society. And why this is happening, why we see this happening, is so that they can ultimately push this agenda. All right? This is an agenda pushed by them. This is an agenda pushed by them. And once you see this, who are we? This is NAMBLA, an organization called NAMBLA. NAMBLA is called the North American Man-Boy Love Association. The North American Man-Boy Love Association. Now what that is, this is a pedophile group, a bunch of pedophiles, a bunch of white men who love little black boys, who love little black children, who love to molest little children. They recruit people like Billy Porter to go on Sesame Street, to have this agenda get taught in schools, so that ultimately they can accomplish this. NAMBLA's goal is to end the extreme oppression of men and boys in mutually consensual relationships. Did you hear that? So in these people's demonic minds, because this is demonic, folks, anytime you get a grown man in a relationship with a young boy, or a grown woman in a relationship with a young girl, folks, that is demonic. We weren't designed as human beings to have sexual, even I don't care if it's consensual. A kid can't consent. If you ask me, a child cannot consent. But whenever you have that type of dynamic going on, and that's not being recognized as a problem, then what you have will be a demonic proliferation of evil. So this is what they want to do. They want to end the extreme oppression of men and boys in mutually consensual relationships by building relationships and support building understanding and support for such relationships. That's why they had Billy Porter on Sesame Street. They want to build an understanding. Remember, Obama said, well, I evolved on the LGBT issue. Well, they want everyone to evolve eventually to evolve into being okay with pedophilia. Next point. Educating the general public on the benevolent nature of man-boy love. So they want you to believe that pedophilia is benevolent. How sick is this, folks? How sick? In the same tactics you see used by these people, you also saw used by the LGBT. They said, oh, all we want to do is educate. We want to show you that this is just a benevolent love between two adults. It's not the moral decay of a society. And they actually bamboozled society. How did they bamboozle society? They did it the same way these pedophiles are doing with Billy Porter. They had homosexuals on the front of magazines. Every single TV show you looked at had some type of homo reference. So they pushed these people out of the media, and eventually most people are asleep. Most people didn't understand the agenda was going on, and wool was pulled over the eyes of the mass public. And because these people were pushed out in the media as benevolent, as loving, our guards went down, and now we began accepting it. Now, before you know it, we have people like Billy Porter now pushing this on to children along with Elmo. Next point. This is very important, okay? Cooperating with lesbian, gay, feminist, and other liberation movements.